make anything fancy.
Make something homey style.
Hey. Ooh, cheese, beef, more cheese, bacon, 3 more strips. I declare this Extreme Burger the winner.
Homer, you've created a Whopper.
For a limited time, get the new Extreme Bacon and Cheese Whopper. Juicy flame-broiled beef, 2 kinds of cheese, 4 strips of bacon. You gotta have the Extreme Bacon and Cheese Whopper at Burger King now.
Woohoo! Carry me home. Go!
Well, hello everyone. I'm back again. And this time it's a big one. I'm back and it's been, oh God, what, 2, maybe 3 years since I've done one of these? But Simpsons commercial videos. Since people seem to really love these, and ironically on X, I've been getting requested to do them again, I came back to talk about Simpsons commercials. I always thought my part 2 was going to be my finisher, but like the Butterfinger commercials, it seems the other commercials wanted more expansion upon them. So this time I'm going to go into detail about the history of the Burger King commercials. These are great, and some of these are some of the best Simpsons commercials in history. In fact, I might be in minority here, but I love these commercials about as much, maybe more, than I do the Butterfinger ones. These are freaking great, and they show exactly what the 90s was dominated by. Fast food, The Simpsons, everything in between. We're all here. We're all gonna do this. It's time. So let's take a trip back to the 90s, early 2000s, and ironically, the mid-2000s, the teens, and let's talk about the Simpsons Burger King commercials. Let's stop talking, let's cut to the chase, and let's hit it. Let's go.
Watch it, boy. Don't get your clothes wet.
Dad.
Go! Boy, you little... Ah!
Now at Burger King, The Simpsons, $3.49 each when you buy new mini muffins or any size fries. To give you The Simpsons for virtually peanuts, sometimes you gotta break the rules.
Breaking these up into segments isn't going to be easy, but I decided to break it up into 3 parts. First off is 1990 to 2002, which is, a giant leap, but you'll see why in a minute. And then, of course, we'll have 2007 to 2008, and then finally, 2011 to 2015 will be the finishing pleasure. So let's start off with 1990 to 2002. This one is going to be great. The 1991 is pretty interesting. This is when the first batch of toys came out for The Simpsons, and this is one that I remember the most. A lot, really. I remember this quite a bit because it was more of the dolls that came with it. What was weird was with these Burger King meals, what came with these was the dolls and a side order of muffins, which I don't know why they included muffins. I guess Burger King had a fascination with including like little mini muffins with their food. I have no idea why. Luckily that stopped. I mean, we go to the fast food joints to eat extremely unhealthy. That's what we're after, is to eat unhealthy. Anyway, these dolls are pretty iconic. I mean, they're easy to find nowadays. I actually found some. I found Bart at a thrift store when I was like 12 years old and bought him. My brother had given me Homer and Maggie as a gift when I was a kid because he actually got them from Burger King from the time they came out, because I was born in 91, and by the time these toys came out, well, I wasn't around, so my brother had given them to me as a little gift. I still have Homer and Maggie somewhere in my house. I don't know where they are, but these were pretty cool. These were actually big full-size toys, and this was back in the day when toys could go all out in their cool factor. I mean, this was early 90s. They were actually putting in the effort for the kids' toys at the time, so can I complain? No, I really can't. These are fucking cool. Homer came with like a bowling bag. Lisa, well, she didn't really come with anything. Bart came with a skateboard, which was kind of cool. But yeah, the fact that these were like really soft plushy like toys with the hard heads was actually kind of cool. Also, another thing that was with the Burger King toys were the plastic cups that came with a meal, little novelty cups when you ordered the kids club meal or whatever. You know, this is before they actually found their identity. So yeah, I mean, these are pretty settling, pretty cool toys. They lasted for a good while, a few months in the Burger King section. But here's the other portion of the 2002 ones, which were the big strike for later. The 2002 versions of The Simpsons came back with special production. Okay, around this time, The Simpsons were huge. They were doing all the Halloween specials. This was at the time where they were doing all the awesome Halloween specials. Everyone would tune into The Simpsons around this time, especially in the early 2000s, to still watch the damn Halloween specials. So what did Burger King do? They decided to go full throttle with it, and they went for the Burger King Halloween Treehouse of Horror toys. Not only that, they went all out on these things. Like, completely all out. One of my favorite little memories is the Freaky Floats. I love the Freaky Float. Fantastic. I never got to eat it, but the fact that they turn your tongue black and stuff was cool. I wish I could have ate it. See, unfortunately, I lived in a town where we don't have a Burger King. We still do not, because I still live in this town. It's been how many years, but we have 2 McDonald's, but no Burger King. It makes perfect sense. That's this town for you, where I live. I'm not going to get specific. But we have 2 freaking McDonald's, no Burger King. We have a Sonic. The closest Burger King we have at the time was about 45 miles away or 70 miles away. So yeah, I didn't really get to enjoy these, but man, we aired the Burger King commercials all the time. It made me love it. So when we would go to Burger King, I would be freaking out like, yeah, I never got to try the Freaky Shakes or whatever, because we just never went there that often. But I just seriously remember these toys. When we would go, I would order the Happy Meals or the Burger King Kids Club toys and be like, yo, these things are freaking amazing. And there's a lot of toys that I remember. There was Marge the Witch. There was so many interesting little figurines that I really liked. In fact, I had the Homer one myself because I begged for the Burger King Kids Club ones. I was about maybe 11 years old at the time. When we would go here, I just loved it. You know, my parents would take us out of town once in a while, and I would pick to go to Burger King once in a while. I love these toys and figurines. My parents knew what a big Simpson fanatic I was. Well, still am, obviously. And they would let me pick out the Burger King Kids Club. And at 11 years old, I was kind of a big child. I mean, I was rather portly. So I would have to eat like a full-size Whopper at the time to get full, but I would purposely get the Burger King Kids Club. Anyway, I'm getting off track and going into personal history. These toys were just epic. I loved every single one of them. And it seemed to be like a big October thing for a while that Burger King would have these out. I mean, the Simpsons, it would be promoted all over like Fox and everything, and the Simpsons would reference it itself. I just loved almost everything about that. The Treehouse of Horrors seemed to be set up just to do this, and they did a celebration of about every single Treehouse of Horror version that was out at the time. Keep in mind, this is 2002, guys. The aliens had their own action figures. The costumes were great. They even had some Shannon, I said Shannon, not Shining, because I don't want to get sued. Toys, they had so much. They had Crazy Homer. I loved almost all these toys. They were so freaking cool. Man, looking at these commercials just makes me want to go back to those days. I still want one of those Freaky Floats because they turn your tongue black. How cool is that? There was also some commercials at the time where, for the adults too, for the big people, of Homer making his double bacon and grilled cheese Whopper. I mean, ooh, God, that sounds good. Double bacon grilled cheese Whopper. They don't make those anymore, by the way. It's kind of like the one from Small Soldiers, which is no longer around. I mean, damn. I could go on and on about these little toys and action figures, but I digress. We have to go to part 2 of the video now. And part 2 is the more interesting aspect of this. So let's hit it and let's take a trip back, or in this case, forward to 2007.
Hey, it's your old pal Krusty. I know some of you might be tempted by the Burger King to eat its flame-broiled Whopper instead of my deep-fried with love Krusty Burger. All I can say is, please, I'm behind on 7 alimonies. I'm wearing paper bags for shoes. Don't buy the Whopper.
Well, 2007 hit the scene, and of course, 16 Simpson figures came out. And I remember this promotion for this really prominently. Like, this is one of my biggest memories of Simpsons Burger King commercials. When the movie was announced, the world went crazy. Burger King even had a special thing going on throughout the year of 2007 called Simpsonize Me. The movie was a huge success. Like, everybody loved it. And kind of, it reignited my love for The Simpsons too. But man, I can remember the Simpsonize Me promotional stuff and the toys that came with it. There was a talking Homer that went yeehaw. There was Flanders in his fishing hat. They even, for some reason, put in gold-plated Homer from, like, season 3 or season 2. I don't have any idea why. But man, I can remember these commercials very vividly. They stick out in my mind like crazy. And the Simpsonize Me stuff was just huge. Now, I did forget to mention in 2002, there were also watches that were given out that could talk at the time, and that was the very last promotional thing that they did for a good while. But when it came to it, the Simpsons movie came out, it just started opening up merchandising for the Simpsons all over again. There were commercials for the Simpsons movie and the Burger King everywhere. It was huge. It was like reopening the 90s again. It was almost like it was the early 2000s or 1990s something again, when The Simpsons was at its freshest. And it was like the movie was a huge deal to the mass, to the public anyway, because there had been a Simpsons movie in the works for many years, even before the end of the 90s. I believe in the very early 2000s or very late 90s, there was a talk of a Simpsons movie, and so many people said it was in production hell. But once it hit 2007, which is when The Simpsons were starting to get out of their niche and starting to get out of their element really bad, the movie commercial came out, and then I just remember explosions of toys, figurines, Burger King. Everywhere was doing Simpson commercials, and I absolutely loved it. It felt like I re-walked back into the past again. And, of course, there was a little bit of that in 2008, too. It was a long-lasting effect of the movies, of everything. There was just so much awesome here. I couldn't believe how big the Simpsons movie actually got. I didn't think it was going to do well, but I was completely wrong. Now, I'm not the biggest fan of the Simpsons movie. I like it. I'll watch it every once in a blue moon. But I prefer the show more than I prefer the movie. But still, when it comes to this little time capsule of awesomeness, oh yeah, I will rewatch these commercials. I will check everything out. I will be there. The Simpsonize Me thing was huge. It was giant. All summer long this shit went on, and it was just epic. I don't know what it is. It was just freaking amazing. And I thought this would be the end of it. I thought, well, this is it. This is the end of The Simpsons. After the movie, it's done. The momentum of the show is done with. But I couldn't be more wrong. There was more time. And it only took 4 years later for them to start doing more Simpsons stuff. So, let's move on. 4 years into the future.
So crispy, so tender. Got those your BK Kids meal can come with chicken tenders and a toy inspired by Simpsons Treehouse of Horror. See what only they can see. Each one comes with a light up and reveal secret coded picture. 10 in all at Burger King.
7 is the return to form for The Simpsons. Yes, the return of the Treehouse of Horror toys. And these weren't that commercialized because I don't even remember them. Of course, this was the year I had gotten the internet in my room and I really wasn't watching cable at the time. So I wasn't aware. But yeah, they brought back and they did kind of a renaissance of the Treehouse of Horror stuff. Until maybe I just really don't remember these at all, honestly. I don't know. Now, the irony is why I call it the Simpsons Renaissance is because they did return to form, but it really wasn't that huge to me. But I do call it that for a reason. This was the year that I had reawakened my love for The Simpsons. My dad had found me season 5 box set at a yard sale for $1. Like, somebody was actually selling season 5 for $1 at the time. And me, I was working at my very first big job at the time too in 2011. My dad gets it for me, and I'm hooked on to The Simpsons again. It reignited my love for the series, and it just made me wake up to how much I really love this franchise. But unfortunately, I don't recall any of these toys. In fact, I don't even think they were very commercialized. I just know they came back. It was a big stint for the Treehouse of Horrors Renaissance and etc. But it really didn't get too good until about 2013. That's when the superhero stuff started coming out. Now, what Burger King did here in 2013 was kind of interesting at the same time. Was because, well, we were getting more into the superhero stuff around this time of year. The Dark Knight Returns had already been out and already been in theaters and was coming to DVD. Now it's time for Burger King to capitalize on that and having some of the Simpsons heroic stuff come out. There was Cupcake Boy or Cupcake Lad. There was Pie Man. They were going through the older, well, I guess mid-2000s episodes from like season 15 of where the characters dressed as superheroes, which wouldn't it have been smart to get like Bartman or whatever? But yeah, in 2013, the Simpsons made the comeback in Burger King again to where it's like, oh yeah, we got to capitalize on those superhero products that we had, which was cool, but they really didn't commercialize it very well either. In fact, I don't remember any of this stuff. This is the time where I started to move out of the house. I got my own place, and I don't remember any of this stuff. And I was watching The Simpsons on a regular basis in 2012, 2013, but unfortunately, I don't recall any of this stuff. But like I said, I still live in the same town where I don't have a Burger King. So maybe I just missed the mark on that. But it was pretty cool to see these return to form superheroes and Treehouse of Horror Renaissance toys again. But then they hit their final stint, and this might be the last of it. I don't know if they're ever going to do them again. But The Simpsons came one last time to Burger King in 2015. And that stint was school supplies. Notebooks, Lisa and Bart telling you to go to school. You know, Bart, the character that hates school and despises it, is now trying to get school supplies in their Burger King toys. And this is in 2015, about, good lord, about 10 years ago. So, yeah, I mean, now the America's Bad Boy is telling you to stay in school, and they ran out of complete ideas and started doing, well, frickin' school supplies. I don't know. Did this kill Burger King's chain with The Simpsons? I don't think so. I just think they ran out of ideas. They ran out of a way to promote for Burger King, because now The Simpsons is on life support as a show, and you don't see the commercial tie-ins anymore now that Disney Plus owns them. So yeah, that about wraps this up. It went on a strong campaign from the early 90s all the way till 2015 of Burger King stuff, Burger King promotional material, and it was pretty cool. I really enjoyed this, stepping back into the past. In fact, I didn't even know that in 2015 they were still running Simpsons stuff. I thought it was all done with by then, but apparently not. Anyhow, that about wraps up this little retrospective on the Burger King aspect of The Simpsons. So, that about does it. It was pretty fun to go into detail on these commercials because you never know what you're going to learn or if you're going to ever unlock a memory that just sit in the balance of your mind, or maybe discover new things about The Simpsons or history of their fast food product that, well, you didn't know about. Like me, I didn't know that they came back in 2011, 2013, and 2015. I thought they died out in the early 2000s. I thought all the promotional stuff died out after the Simpsons movie hype finally ended. But it looks like I was wrong. They came back with Halloween toys and school supplies and superhero toys, which is kind of weird. Anyway, did you guys like this video? What other Simpsons commercials do you think I should do a retrospective on next? Tell me in the comments. Always remember, I'm listening.
This is Corey Feldman. Welcome to my studio here in Los Angeles, California. And I just wanted to pop in to say congratulations to Tim. Mr. Tim, I hope everybody's enjoying your videos. He's got some great content, and if you're enjoying his content, make sure you click on that little button right there that says subscribe. Why? Because everything on his channel is Bossa Nova. That's right. Congratulations on your channel, Mr. Tim. I'll be following you, and I know everybody else will too.